What would we do first? So what we're going to do, we're going to split this in half. This is going to be 3/8. Where did 3/8 come from? Perfect, half 3/4. This will be 3/8, this will be 1/4, and this I'm going to call x. 1/4 times x equals 3/8 times 3/8. So 3/8 times 3/8 divided by 1/4, which will be 0.5625, otherwise known as 9/16. Yep. Yeah, so add the 9/16 and 1/4, you're right, to get the diameter equals 13/16, which means the radius equals 13/32. So we're going to draw this in. Now we want to know volume and surface area of all this. Now that we've got the radius, which is the first part, we need to get this angle here. Okay, that angle is going to be the inverse sine. This is 3/8 over 13/32. So second sine. Yep, exactly. (67.38 degrees). Now I'm going to multiply that by 2 because that's only half the angle. So the whole angle is 134.76. Now that we have that, the rest of this is pretty easy, actually. Here we have, let's do the volume first. So what we have is we have a block here that is, oops, I didn't give you this dimension. That would help. This dimension here, we're going to call it 1 inch. So we got a block here that has a volume 1 by 8 by 4, which is going to be 32 cubic inches. Then we got to subtract this volume. Well, that volume is going to come off of this area times the 4 inches of depth. It's an area times a height. That's why we define volume that way, is because now it applies to a problem like this. So let's find that area. The area of the sector is going to be 13/32 squared times pi times the 134.76 over 360. So 169 divided by 1024, that's just the 13/16 squared, times pi times 134.76 divided by 360. 0.1941. That's going to be inches squared. Then the area of our triangle, I had showed you a formula once for the area of the triangle. Well, we could do that, but there's another formula, Trig Formula. If you have a triangle where you have two sides, oops, that's 13/32, not 13/16. If you have two sides and the angle in between them, the area is side 1 times side 2 times the sine of that angle in between them divided by 2. So here it's going to be 13/32 times 13/32 times the sine of 134.76 degrees all over 2. So 13/32 times 13/32 is 169 over 1,024 again, times sine of 134.76 divided by 2. 0.0586. Subtracting that gives us 0.1336 is the area of that segment. We're going to multiply that by 4 because that's the depth. So 0.1336 times 4 inches. So 0.5344. So from the 32, we're going to subtract 0.5344 to get 31.4656 cubic inches. Is our volume. So this here is the amount of material removed when you take that round end mill and run it down that groove. Next, surface area. Surface area is going to be really simple right now. Well, let's do the surface area of the whole block first. Surface area of the whole block, I'm going to treat this end as a base, so that's going to be 1 times 8, right? So I've got 1 times 8 times 2, because there's 2 of them, that's 8 square inches. Or sorry, 16 square inches. So that's the front and the back end, right? Then it's circumference of the base times the height, or depth. So I've got 1, or perimeter of the base. So I got 1 plus 8 plus 1 plus 8, which is 18. 18 times 4 is 72 square inches. Now, however, that includes this half circle and the part here that's missing. So we've got to subtract out that half circle twice, which is the 0.0586. So 0.0586 times 2 is 0.1172. So we're going to subtract 0.1172. We're also going to subtract 3/4 of an inch wide by 4 inch long rectangle that's missing off the top. 3/4 times 4 is 3 square inches. So what is that? 84.8828 square inches so far. Now we've got to add in the curve, the arc part. So we've got to find the length of this arc right here, and then we'll multiply that by 4. Well, the length of that arc is going to be the circumference of the circle, which will be 13/16 times pi times the 134.76 over 360. So 13/16 times pi times 134.76 divided by 360. 0.9555, and that's going to be times 4 then, because it's a 4 inch long groove. So 3.8220. It's 88.7048 square inches. What do you think? Not as bad as it looks, is it? Now that you know trig, it's actually kind of simple. It's just keeping all your pictures together and all your pieces. There's a lot of little pieces you got to know what to add, what to subtract. Well, our next example that we're going to work on fingers work. Pretend that's a circle. This is tangent here, here, and here. Circle has a diameter of 50 millimeters. And this cross here is 120 millimeters. I want you to find this angle. Assume that it's the same on both sides. So this center of this is centered over the center of the line. So it's symmetrical. Find the angle and the area. The whole works, yeah. We know those are going to be right angles there, right? We know this is going to be 60. Whoa. So we know that much. We know this is going to be 25. And 25. We also know that if we cut, this is one of those rules of circles that we learned. If you have two tangents, by the way, you know how long this is going to be? Two tangents to intersect. From the point of intersection to point of tangents, it has to be the same. So we can divide this across here. Those two triangles are going to be the same. This angle right here is going to be the inverse tangent of what? Opposite over adjacent. 25 over 60. .62 degrees. So we're going to multiply that by 2. 45.24. Degrees. What's that?
You got 90, 90, and then the fourth angle was out of 360.
Yep. So we know this is 90. This is also 45.24. This one right here is going to be 134.76 on both sides. Why is that important? Now we're in that angle up here, right? .48. Obviously not drawn to scale. So that means is this area here, I can just find this triangle multiplied by 4, right? 60 times 25 over 2 is the triangle times 4, which ends up being 300 square millimeters, correct? 60 times 25 is 1,500. Should be 3,000 by the way. 60 times 25 is 1,500. Divided by 2 is 750 times 3 is 3,000. What's that? Or times 4 is 3,000, yeah. So then we've got the 25 squared times pi times 90.48 over 360. $493.49. So that adds up to 3,493.49 millimeters squared is the area of all that. Not so bad? Well, I'm going to give you a worksheet.